So we're just going to throw a bunch of stuff on guys, and we're just going to let them die. I have 0 Paragons right now, and my gear's not augmented. And we're just going to go ahead and passively kill these. Now, this will be faster with more Paragon, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, we're just running through. That's it. Running through, throwing some Decrepifies down. Right? Just throwing Decrepifies as you go. And just killing stuff. Just like that. Get a bunch of mobs here. The more the merrier. Get more damage. And more efficiently clearing. Which is nice. There we go. What is up, my ninjas? Shinobi here. And today I'm bringing you guys what is becoming one of my favorite builds for speed farming DBs, keys, bounties, power leveling people, or prepping your legendary gems to get them up to the 50, 60 area solo so that you can join a 4-person group and then take it above and beyond after that. This build does a lot of stuff. However, this build was not my creation. I made a few changes myself that I feel like make the build a little bit better to my liking. But I found this build because one of my viewers on my Twitch channel actually talked to me about it and said, hey, you got to check this out, Shinobi. It's a pretty awesome build. I think you'll like it. It's right up your alley. And I said, okay, sure, I'll check it out. And at first I was kind of a little bit judgy about it. I was like, I don't know about this. You know, and I'm sure you probably will be as well. But trust me, try it out yourself and you will like it. But the build was actually made by a guy named, I think, Zombeaver, I think is his name. And he also made a YouTube video. Now I put a link in the description to his Diablo fans. The YouTube video only got around 30-something thousand views or something like that, which I think that this build deserves more recognition, and that's exactly why I'm making this video. Let's go ahead and get into the build, explain everything that goes on with this here. So we are using the 6-piece Inarius set. Now, you see only 5 here. I have the Arena Royal Grandeur in my cube. This is all about the Bone Storm, the Bone Armor, damage reduction from that, and getting the damage bonus from your 6-piece as well. So, we aren't using the Helm from Inarius because we're using the Blind Faith. Now, it's a weird item. You probably weren't expecting that. You're like, what the? Blind Faith, right? But hear me out. So the secondary for Blind Faith can range from 20 to 40% chance to blind on hit. So the reason why this is good is because your Bone Storm is constantly hitting things. So you're activating this blind on a pretty consistent basis. In fact, very consistent. And what happens with that is it activates your Crispin Sentence ring. So Crispin Sentence, everyone knows, you deal, you know, up to 100% damage increased against slowed enemies, which is going to happen with your Bane of the Trapped anyway, common knowledge. Triple this bonus against enemies inflicted by any other type of controlling a parried effect. Could be a stun, could be a freeze, could be, you know, such and so forth, a fear, whatever, but also a blind. A blind is a controlling parrying effect. So this is going to allow you to have a very consistent ability to be able to constantly have that triple effect bonus. This is, and of all the builds out there, this build does this the most consistently out of any build. And that's one thing that's kind of irked me about Crispin Rain, is because it bothers me that, you know, oh, I gotta wait for my bone armor to come back up to stun them, you know, with dislocation, which is a popular thing that people use. I want to have that bonus all the time. I want to have it on a regular basis. I don't want to have to wait for this cooldown to come back up, or wait for Land of the Dead with with the Tragul build, or the Singularity Mages, or anything like that. This does it on a consistent basis. So before we go any further, you might say to me, Shin, Singularity Mages is a very strong speed farming build. Is this faster than Singularity Mages? Well, unfortunately, no. It's not faster than Singularity Mages, and it's not supposed to be. But the thing about Singularity Mages is it has a couple downsides to it. You're babysitting your mages all the time, and when you have downtime, you have ridiculous downtime. If you proc, you lose all your mages, and if your Land of the Dead's on cooldown, Well, I guess I just stand around for a little while and wait for that to come back up, right? Which doesn't really take that long usually, but I don't like having downtime when I'm speed farming. I want consistency, and this does give you consistency. Now, the mages can give you consistency too. If you're getting monsters on a regular basis, you're always, summoning more monsters because there's always more things to kill. There's always more things to hit. But what about those shitty rifts that you get where you're running through a brown cave and you don't see a monster forever? Or some of the new maps that Blizzard has implemented where you don't see monsters for a long period of time. You're like, oh, I lost all my mages. Now I gotta, find some monsters and summon them back up again. You don't have to worry about that in this build. You don't have to worry about anything. There's no downtime. If you die and you resurrect, you're in the exact same position you were when you died. And I like that. I like that you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's a very passive build, and that's why I prefer it over Singularity Mages. And the best thing is that this, on average, does tier 60 to tier 70 area in about 2 to 3 minutes, on average. And you don't even have to have augments or high Paragon. We're also using here the other piece of the puzzle that's pretty important, is the Pain Enhancer gem. Now, Pain Enhancer Gem is going to do a dot damage that does physical damage over 3 seconds, and it's going to give you an attack speed increase, which is very nice. The cool thing about the Bone Storm that you get from Inarius is the way that it interacts with your dot gems. We're using the Toxin Gem and the Pain Enhancer Gem. This actually ramps up your damage quite a bit, and it happens on a regular basis, so you're able to actually get a consistent high damage dot put on your enemies. So your dot ticks alone just simply kill everything. You're literally just running. You're running. Everything's dying around me, and it's glorious. It's really glorious. I like it. Anyways, let's get into more of it. We're also using the Wisdom of Kalan here to give us more stacks for a bone armor. This is going to give us more survivability and more damage increase, which is nice. We're also going to be using Nemesis Bracers because we want to be getting elites more regularly, because you're going to speed farm faster with using something like Nemesis Bracers. It's just a very good fit. And we're going to be going physical rune, as you can see, physical roll on both of these here, because your main source of your damage is coming from Pain Enhancer. It's a physical thing, which is quite good, and also from your Bone Spirit, which is also physical, which we'll talk a little bit more later on. Then we have the bindings here, just because they're used in pretty much every build. This is going to allow you to get a lot of damage reduction, because you're using Decrepify, which gives you damage reduction as slow already, which is nice. But then you're also going to be getting more damage reduction, which allows you to not have to worry about your health bouncing up and down. That's one thing about Singularity Mages as well. If you don't have all those mages up, you are a piece of paper floating in the wind. You are, with this build right here, when I'm running through, and I'll show you in a little bit, I have 500 million toughness. 500 million, solo. 500 million toughness, just running around passively. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So you're able to take some hits, and you can just stand in Electrify. You can stand in Arcane, whatever, right? And it's great. So using that as well. We're also using the Christman, as I said. We're using Convention of Elements. When you roll over, you have many elements that are going to get benefits from this. You have Cold on your Bone Armor, which does do decent damage on activation. You also have your Physical from the Pain Enhancer. You also have Poison from your Toxin, which is also nice. So you have a lot of benefits here. When this rolls over to many things, you're always getting this damage bonus regardless of what you're doing to certain things. So that's quite good. So that's all that stuff. Then we also have your Trey Ghoul Corroded Fang, which is what you definitely want to have. Now keep in mind this does have an augment on it, but it's the only augment I have on this gear, and I only did it for the season journey. And this is a pretty decent Trey Ghoul right here. But I use this one for my Trey Ghoul Blood Lancer for doing solos. That's why I have cooldown on here. Typically you wouldn't really want cooldown for a build like this. That's why we have the Life Gem in the helm to give us more healing, to give us more survivability, and you don't really need cooldown reduction to begin with. So all my gear is not even world perfectly either. We're also using the lost time, which this is going to be nice because your cold skills reduce the movement speed of enemies by 30%. In addition, your movement speed is increased by 4% up to 5% for 5 seconds, stacking 5 times. So up to a 25% movement speed bonus, which is nice. You're going to notice with this build that we're not using Ingeom. If you're power leveling people, if you're doing anything that's T13 or below, you can get away. You can get away with Ingeom on T13 with this build, but typically I would say you don't need it. And you're going to think that's weird. You're going to think that's weird. Like, Ingeom not in a speed farm build? What the heck? But I'm telling you, 2 to 3 minute clears. 2 to 3 minute clears. You have a lot of movement speed. You're moving around quickly on a regular basis. You're pretty much one-shotting everything. And everything around you in your aura is just getting annihilated. So you don't really need that. And plus, Ingeom is also inconsistent. You don't find elites. You don't find shrines or pylons. You're like, oh man, I don't have any elites. I'm just running around slow, getting no movement speed bonus or anything like that. You don't have to worry about that. No downtime. No downtime. I'm telling you. No downtime for this build. No Ingeom bullcrap downtime. No Singularity Mages downtime. None of that. It's just consistent, and I like that. So yeah, you get some movement speed bonus here. Let's go ahead and talk about the cube items. So cube items here, we have the Shadow Hook. It's going to give you a big damage increase. Now, if you do use Ingeom, you're pretty much losing about 50% of your damage. I've opted to actually use the Aquila because you get that nice damage reduction and you always have close to top essence. So you always have this effect all the time. Gives you a lot more, makes it lazier. Makes it lazier so you don't have to worry so much about standing in this, standing in that, whatever. It just makes it so much easier. You have a lot of options for this though. Which you can kind of do what you want here. If you feel like, okay, I don't need to be this tanky, I want to get some more movement speed, you go with something like this. A lot of options. You can go through whatever you want to do there. Just use your own best judgment. And then Arena Royal Grandeur, obviously, because we are using these 3 reigns total: COE, Crispin, and the Arena Royal Grandeur. So moving into the skills now. Skills, we're using curses. We're using 2 curses here, actually. We're using the Frailty, Oral of Frailty. This is going to make it so that we have, we don't have to worry so much about always applying our Decrepify, and also the mobs are going to die at 15% health, making this a little bit nicer for you. So Frailty is not 100% needed because you could use Decrepify, which is also a curse, and you can also get your effect from Trey Ghoul. But this makes it a little bit lazier. You don't always have to use Decrepify. There's just, you just trash there. You don't really care a lot about using Decrepify because they're going to get one-shotted anyways. Depends on the difficulty you're playing. You could mess around with it a bit. We are using Decrepify, Opportunist. So this is going to give us a movement speed increase when we have a bunch of mobs in our Decrepify. Now, the original poster, Zom, on here, he actually doesn't use Spreading Malediction. He opts to go for Final Service, and then in his cube, instead of using Aquila, he's using the Cold Gloves, the Frostburns. So you could do that too. You could do that, but the thing is I like this route. I get more damage, and I get a lot more survivability. So I like going that route, and that's kind of the only change that I made in this build myself. But yeah, anyway, so we're using Bone Spirit with Possession. Now, you can mess around with this. You don't technically need to have Possession. You could switch it up to one of the other runes, but the reason why Possession is good is you're going to charm the target for up to 10 seconds at the cost of 5% health. So this is going to enable you to get that effect of Crispin. If for some reason you didn't blind it or whatever, you're going to be able to do it with that in the first hit at least. So it's going to allow you to get that one shot in. But if if you don't really need to go that route, and you can also use Bone Spirit on a regular basis. So because you get it back quickly. But save it for, typically how I use it is I only use it on mobs that have a lot of health, like elites, Rift Guardians, or certain type of mob types that have a lot of health, like executioners or mallet lords or things like that. Then we have Bone Armor Harvest of Anguish. So this is going to be a cold skill, which is going to help activate our lost time here, which is nice. And we're going to get a movement speed, which is good. And it's also going to put bone armor on us, up to 15 stacks because of the amulet. And, you know, get the bones rolling, man. Get them storming around. Then we got Blood Rush Potency, going to give you some damage reduction, help you survive a little bit with some armor increase there and some mobility. And then we're going to be using Devour with Cannibalize. Now you're going to want to either activate this on, you know, when you need to heal on a regular basis, or you can use the Numlock trick that has been pretty widely known as just hitting Numlock and one of your Num keys that you can use in your key binds. As you see here, I have on my right side numpad, I just have 1, 2, 4 here, so this is my 4, so I would just hit numlock and 4 at the same time, and then that's it, and then you just activate it. So if you take a look, she's flipping out like that. That means she's sucking them up, baby. She's sucking up those Devours, so you're getting a bunch of healing, and that's good. You want a bunch of healing. To get rid of that, click your mouse off the screen to you know, get rid of it or leave the game, whatever. But yeah, that's it. And you're going to be in 3% health, and you have a lot of health. I have over 1 million. I suggest that you have over 1 million so that you can get some decent healing off of that. We're also going to be using, going to get some essence here too. Keep that in mind. So that, you know, you're always going to make sure you're up in essence so you get the Aquila all the time. We have the Overwhelming Essence, giving you more essence so you can do more damage. Spreading Malediction for more damage. Dark Reaping is also going to give you some nice healing as well, and help you with giving the essence there as well. You could opt to switch this out for maybe Final Service, or that's about it. I mean, I guess you have some options here. Rigor Mortis could help with some more survivability. I would love to use Fueled by Death if it wasn't completely busted right now. If this is working correctly, this build would be even better. But yeah, you can go that route when the time comes. Then we have Stand Alone for some survivability because you don't have any pets. So that is that right there. So the way that it works for Paragons is you're going to want to max essence, then just fill the rest with your movement speed, so you're at 25% cap, and then you get more because of your other movement speed stuff, and the rest into intelligence. You want to prioritize your crit chance, crit damage, attack speed. Cooldown is not prioritized. We might as well get it. And then over here, we're going to be going for armor first, then life. You could go light, depends how much health you have, but you could go the other way, and then resist all. And then we're looking for area damage, resource cost reduction, life on hit. You know, just not really needed. In fact, I'm going to show you why it's not needed. So let's go ahead and remove our Paragons. Let's get them all out of here. There we go. Removing Paragons. Sweet. I want movement speed still, just because I don't want to move around slow. So I'm just going to put movement speed in there. So I'm back to my cap. All right, but the rest of it is gone. So you can see my damage went down significantly for sure, but it's okay. We're going to jump into it. We're in T13 right now. T13. Let's go ahead and jump in. This is no Paragons, and of course it's Keep Depths, one of my least favorite maps. So we're just going to throw a bunch of stuff on guys, and we're just going to let them die. I have 0 Paragons right now, and my gear is not augmented. And we're just going to go ahead and passively kill these. Now this will be faster with more Paragon, don't get me wrong. But yeah, we're just running through. That's it. Running through, throwing some Decrepifies down. Right? Just throwing Decrepifies as you go. And just killing stuff. Just like that. Get a bunch of mobs here. The more the merrier. Get more damage. And more efficiently clearing. Which is nice. There we go. Just killing them all. That's it. Just like that. No Paragon. Not at all. And Paragon's just going to allow you to do higher difficulties more efficiently. That's all it's going to do. Which is nice. It's not required. You can do this exact same build. Now I do have a few Ancients. Not all of them are Ancient, but I have a few Ancients. My gems aren't even that high leveled. Pain Enhancer is 68. Toxin 65. Not even that high leveled. And yeah, now he does recommend in his video that you should get to about 60 or higher for these gems to get a decent damage increase, and that's true. So, but you know, I mean, no Paragon. There goes that elite. I didn't even use Bone Spirit. I didn't even use Bone Spirit there, and that guy's dead. He's out of here. He's gonzo. Just like that. So here we go. Let's find this elite right here. It's going to pop this down, and we're just going to kill him at one shot. There's 200 billion right there. I always get the effect of my Cry Spin, so I'm always doing higher consistent damage. So, pretty good stuff. Just coming through. Throwing a Crepify down. Oh, we got a little shield over here. Now, keep in mind, I'm also not using Devour to get my healing back up. I didn't turn that on while doing this, right? So I'm going to turn that on now. So now I can get some healing. Forgot to do that, but it's not like it was needed, right? But yeah, anyway. Gonna be killing this guy. I now can target him. There we go. I clicked the wrong guy right off the bat. And yeah, that's it. We're just coming through now. Killing things. Staying here. No Paragon. Just stand still. Just kill him passively. That's it. He's dead. Move on. Just like that. And this whole run here has taken so far, what? 2 minutes to do a T13? And this is a bad map, right? These monster types don't give a lot of progression, too. So if you have a good map, there's a Juggernaut right here. Juggernaut. No Paragons. T13. He's gone. Just like that. So, yeah, I wasn't even getting the Christman effect there on him. And I still killed that quickly. Because this does some good damage. It's some pretty nice damage. So, you see how that works there? It's definitely, definitely interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my Paragon back on now. And kind of show you a little bit of the difference there. And so let's go ahead and pop that Paragon back in there. So we'll go ahead and get our damage bonuses here. Get all of our stuff. Now, if you want to do this quickly, if you didn't know, you can just hit the control key and click one time, and it will fill it all up, just like that. Maybe a little thing you didn't know. Let's go back into this Greater Rift now, or this Rift. Run through. And here's a guy right here with Juggernaut. Juggernaut. Oh, man. And you can also stand in this because you have your Enchantress that has an Oculus. And get some more damage bonus, right? Using the Enchantress for attack speed, for damage bonuses, and for charms. You also have this on here too. Chance on hit to charm enemy. While charm, the enemy takes 35% damage. This is also nice to have for this whole build. It actually works quite well. So you don't necessarily have to have that stuff, but it's nice. So here we go. So this is non-Juggernaut. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Well, look at that. I just took like 2 explosions from that. Didn't even kill me. Didn't even kill me. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this. So I have 278 million toughness right now. Let's go ahead and jump down here. Pop this stuff. 700, 500 million. 500 million toughness. Let's see the fluctuations. So I was going to say, oh, we got the Rift Guardian. Let's go ahead and just get him out of here. And he's dead. And I'm standing in his stuff the whole time. Wasn't even trying to survive or anything. I literally just stood there and I hit this button twice. That's all I did. I stood there and hit this button twice. You know, make sure you put your Decrepify on him, obviously. But, you know, 2 Bone Spirits. Sometimes it can be 1, depending on the crit. But yeah, that's it. That's a T13 right there. And it's effortless to farm DBs. It's effortless to farm keys, to do power levels, to do all kinds of stuff. It's a fun build. I really like it. I highly suggest you try it out. I guarantee you that you will like it. But anyways, guys, that's it. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoy it. Check out his video as well if you want some more information as well in his video. I didn't really watch his video that much. I kind of just saw the build and then figured it out myself. So if I missed anything that he said, that maybe there was something else that needed to be said, you can check out his video as well. But I think that you'll be fine with the build. It's pretty straightforward, but it's pretty fun, and it does the job, and it lives up to the name that he coined, the Lazy Storm build. So that's it, guys. Remember to check out my live stream channel, twitch.tv/Shinobi Live. See you guys in the next video, and until next time, my name is Shinobi, and thanks for watching.